Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have returned once more, back with the sport talk, but we're going to continue on the topic that I started earlier with AEW and their, to be quite blunt, bullshit new TV plans in the UK. Might not affect the rest of the world, but it affects the UK. So, in most places in the world, obviously, there's no TV deals for AEW to be broadcast anywhere but the US, right? That's fairly common knowledge. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, why wouldn't it be that way? Obviously. But everyone got seriously excited when AEW said that they were going to tap into what was considered the WWE's second biggest market. Well, now it's probably Saudi Arabia, but second biggest market in the UK, right? And now, everyone thought WWE was slapping the UK in the face when they came up with NXT UK, but in hindsight to this, NXT UK is an absolute stroke of genius compared to the absolute bollocks which is now going on involving the new AEW show, which should be Wednesday Night Dynamite, but it will not be on Wednesday nights for the UK. And the reason why I'm reiterating this point is because earlier, of course, I was very furious. The news was still raw on me. I'm not here to say that I take it back and in actual fact everything's fine. It's not. I just have a bit more information. So, this is what's concerning, is that Tony Khan himself came out after all the hatred, right, was being sparked about the new deal, about the new way things were a way to be done, right? The fact that this is a Wednesday night show and it will not be shown live in the UK, and it won't even be shown live, it won't even be shown full stop until Sunday, right? And I'll reiterate, like I said in the other video, now that's okay, right? That's okay. But here's the thing. It's okay for a very, very, and I mean very small percentage of the potential fans that they could have from the UK. And they've probably just hampered the chances of gaining a few more with all this recent bullshit. But here's the thing. I'm not quite sure who to blame at this moment. I think we can blame TNT. I think that's safe to do. I think we can blame ITV4. This has clearly been taken out of AEW's hands. So at least we know this has nothing to do with the wrestlers. It has nothing to do with Tony Khan. This isn't the company AEW going back on their promises as I believed. This is AEW being forced to change their promises on behalf of a higher power. The higher power in this instance being ITV4, the original channel it was supposed to be broadcast on Wednesdays, and TNT. And this is what's pissed me off the most, ladies and gentlemen, and this will probably piss you off too, is that there was a deal in place. There was a deal in place to show Dynamite live on a Wednesday, and if you missed it, you had a chance to catch it on Friday, and if you missed it, you had a chance to catch it on Sunday. Now that might sound like overkill, but that's what the WWE do. They repeat a couple of the shows during the week, so in case you missed it, you've still got a chance to watch the whole thing. That is so fair enough. That's brilliant. You see, that is exactly what we need. That is exactly what everyone needs. That is what we're talking about. That is what everyone was hyped for. So the fact we've gone from that, the live show on Wednesday, and slots on Friday and Sunday, and now we've gone, and these are all at night, by the way, these are all primetime television slots that were being given, and now we've been reduced to, well, if you want to watch it live on Wednesday, you're gonna have to pay for it now. You know, the very thing which is what drove British fans away, because British fans are less willing to part with their money than American fans, because in America they've got more money to splash as a country. I don't think people are aware of this demographic, that not every country works the same as the US, as much as they may spread their influence. And that's kind of tie into the main issue. The main issue is that this has all fallen through because of fucking, and I'm not even joking, because of fucking adverts. We have just lost our live TV show, the only live TV show, wrestling show in the UK that's actually worth fucking watching. We've just lost it because of adverts. We've lost it because TNT wanted 16 minutes of adverts and ITV4 wouldn't budge past 12. Are you fucking kidding me? 4 minutes of adverts has cost us. I mean, would it really be much? Would it really have been that much to have a big commercial break after the first hour to make up that extra time? No, it wouldn't. Do you know how much garbage there is already on the TV in the UK? I can't believe that adverts is actually an issue. I mean, I get it for WWE because they shove adverts down your throat all the time. But AEW? Like, are you serious? They have so much more in common with WWE. They have so much more in common with WWE than people give them credit for. And to be quite frank, what's become a fairy tale has very quickly become nothing in my eyes. I'm not hyped. I'm not kidding. I'm hyped to see the wrestlers, right? But now I'm not hyped for the situation. The situation that everyone's getting hyped about is the Wednesday Night War. And as I mentioned in the previous video, well, if one show, right, is going to be shown on Sunday, and let's just assume that most of the casual fans are going to tune in because WWE keep mentioning this war, right? The people go on Wednesday, they see that NXT is live on free television in the US. They'll also see that, for AEW. And then they will see the messages which I'm more than happy to share with everyone. The images of quotes from various people in the company promising, not saying that we'll talk about it, promising live wrestling in the UK. The first proper live wrestling show in the UK for years, since WWE moved to Sky and now BT, limiting their audience to paying customers. They're not interested in casual fans anymore, and they wonder why professional wrestling has taken a hit. To me, it seems fucking obvious, doesn't it? Just put a free show out there. People are still going to buy the pay-per-views, right? You don't need to be making money from every single aspect of the show. Or maybe we have to, because now we're starting to give the stars on the show contracts so big that now you're having to bleed your fans dry. Now you're hoping that die-hard fan that spends all of his life savings, you know, he's unmarried, he has no children, he's blown his inheritance money on watching wrestling. Those are the fans, right, that are being targeted right now. Not the casual fan. The casual fan watches free TV. The casual fan watches YouTube. Okay? But no. Money. And the irony is, they wouldn't be able to pay for half of the celebs without the TV deals. So why do we still have a TV deal? What's the point at this point? What is the point, ITV? Seriously. Like, if any of your reps ever watch this, because I've tagged you multiple times in my tags, gamer tags, whatever. Like, seriously, what is the point in you having a deal with AEW anymore? You're not going to get the viewers that you could have got, right? Wednesday night was your time. And then showing it on Friday, genius, because people will play it in the pubs and all the clubs on Friday nights. But no, that would almost be too good to be true, wouldn't it? And all of this is gone because of fucking ad breaks. And it breaks my heart because I've been pumped since All In last year for a new wrestling company, because I'm sick of WWE's, like, it's right. Here's the thing with WWE. I love the talent. Everyone loves the talent. That's why where they are. But their story writing is insulting, and I never considered myself to be insulted by AEW until this. And they can say what they want. They could have influenced matters, right? It's only a couple of minutes of adverts, right? This was so poorly organized from their perspective. Like, I understand WWE, like, rushing to get deals done with Fox. Like, think about that. AEW's had more time to put together a deal with ITV and all that faster than WWE. They had more time than WWE had to deal with Fox. And yet, the Fox thing is going ahead as normal. And their fans are going to be happy as fuck. And I really think that this war that's going to make wrestling quote-unquote explode, I've had a completely different perspective change, all because of this one move. All of a sudden, the Wednesday Night War doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. In the stroke of a couple of weeks, the Wednesday Night War, it died for everyone except for fans in the US. Only fans in the US are going to be experiencing this Wednesday Night War, right? Yeah, to be honest, even if you did pay for the new AEW live streaming service and you pay for the WWE network, you're still not going to get all of NXT. You know, is that not ridiculous? That this whole thing, that all these channels, What Culture, Wrestle Talk, all of them are getting so hyped for this war, but unless you are a die-hard fan who's willing to pay for every little bit of wrestling you see, there's no war. And there's certainly going to be no increase in audience. This is going to cause a decrease in audience, and it's already begun. I can already tell you that AEW have taken a massive hit without even going on the air next week because of this deal. I guarantee you, right, because it was new and because it was exciting, that there were going to be at least 500,000 people in the UK tuning in to watch AEW. Even people who aren't wrestling fans, people who just want to check out something new. On Wednesday night, there would be all these people checking out something new. Now, you know what? Their ratings on Sunday might not be too bad because it's still the first show. All these new fans will want to watch something new. So on Sunday, I guess they're fine. But for hardcore fans, right, it's like, if you are a hardcore fan and you are online all the time, you follow the superstars, you get so involved with the sport, we're going to charge you guys for it. So not only now is the product delayed in the UK, but unless you're a hardcore fan, right, it's going to be delayed. And then if you are a hardcore fan, you've got to pay just so you don't have to put up with spoilers for a few days. It's like, are you absolutely serious? Like, even the WWE network isn't geared towards people who are huge fans of wrestling. It's geared towards people who just want to watch pay-per-views, because it works out cheaper than buying individual pay-per-views being a member of the WWE network. And you get NXT and all their cross-programming. What's AEW going to give us? One show a week for the same price. One show a week. Actually, you know, yeah, for the same price, right? And not including their pay-per-views. And you know, in the UK, we can't really complain with pay-per-view price, right? I mean, the most expensive one we've had is about £20, right? The most expensive one in the US was $50. $50. Do these people honestly expect fans to pay a monthly rate and then every month or two an extra $50 to watch a pay-per-view? I mean, this is criminal. It has to be from AEW. I mean, what the fuck are they thinking? They've just thrown themselves under the bus. And this, again, pains me because I'm so excited for AEW. I'm so excited to see Jimmy Havoc get the stage he deserves. That Joey Janela will be regarded as a hardcore legend that he is. That Kenny Omega will prove he's one of the best in the world. Cody will prove that he was a great superstar. That the Young Bucks will prove that they're the greatest tag team in the world or whatever. But it doesn't mean shit if you price yourselves out of the market. I mean, yeah, people don't like WWE, but if you give people the option, you know, either this one or this one, people are going to pick WWE because it's a bigger name. And now, as it stands, and I cannot believe I'm saying this today. After all the hype over the last few months, I cannot believe I'm saying this. But AEW is going to be more expensive to watch than WWE. Sure, their live shows might be cheaper, but watching them live on TV on Wednesdays, if you're outside of the US, is now more expensive than watching the already expensive, for what it is, WWE. And as I said, the network has just... Everyone thought that they would ruin wrestling, the network. But you know what? It's come full circle. All of a sudden, now that there's a new promotion, they can't even touch WWE and the WWE network. Because I, for one, right, I'm a huge fan of New Japan as well. And now I don't pay for New Japan all the time, but I do from time to time when there's something I really want to watch. So, and these are guys who have come from New Japan as well. So, they said that they're a company for the hardcore wrestling fans. So they're expecting hardcore wrestling fans to now pay for New Japan, pay for AEW, pay for WWE, and pay for whatever may be on the side. I'm guessing, you know, your Impact pay-per-views, your Ring of Honor pay-per-views. Like, what is this? Like, what the hell is this? Like, it's no wonder that fucking wrestling t-shirt designs are crap. Because all their time is being spent into just thinking, what's the next best way we can con the gullible fans? And that's honestly how you feel, particularly if you're in the UK, after all these promises. Just... There are updates, obviously. They have said, right, and this is the one positive, but I'm not getting my hopes up high, because as soon as a company introduces a system for paying for it, they will stick to it. So despite what they say, I believe that this is bullshit coming out of their mouths anyway, right? A lot of people that I've spoke to as well believe that the advert reason for losing AEW is bullshit as well. But then if that's not true, what the fuck is? Because there's no other real reason given out there, is there? But yes, where was I going with that? Before I went on another timer. Yes, there are developments that I don't believe. But the development is... Because of the way things currently are, with shows being shown on Sunday, we obviously know that the go-home show, the go-away show, whatever you call it, the show before a pay-per-view, you know? Think about it. To make sure they don't compete with WWE directly, AEW are having their pay-per-views on Saturdays. Right? So that means in the UK, when the pay-per-view is on, unless you've paid for it, you don't know what happened in the last television episode. You don't have a clue, because it's not on till the next morning. And are you going to really stay up to watch an AEW pay-per-view and then stay up to watch the AEW TV show the next day, which should have been on the day before? Yeah, you see, that sentence alone sums up how ridiculous this position is that AEW have put themselves in. And I say AEW have put themselves in. This is the position that TV networks have put AEW in. But as I said, AEW, you know, wouldn't have just said, oh, well, we'll do whatever you guys say. They will have their own say in the matters, and they really have not fought their corner here. This is probably why WWE get their way, because they've got Vince McMahon fighting their corners, a man who doesn't take no for an answer. And yeah, the vibe I'm getting from Tony Khan right now is that he's a big yes man. But that shouldn't really come as a surprise, because his legacy very different from Vince McMahon's. Vince McMahon built his fortune. Tony Khan did a Donald Trump, took a big fortune and made it a little bit bigger. So we can expect a completely different attitude when it comes to demands and getting your own way. And it looks like through this lackadaisical approach, AEW are going to be very much pushed around by their networks rather than vice versa like WWE. And that is not good, because TV networks don't know about wrestling, because they just see TV shows and they think, oh, okay, it's a TV show, and yeah, they do a bit of acting like a regular TV show, like a soap. And that's why it goes wrong, because there's so much more in the wrestling world. There's the kayfabe rule, you know, there's intricate stories, there is building people. It's so much more different than a normal TV show, and yet just these people are given absolutely no leeway whatsoever to negotiate, and I'm so angry that we are now in this point. I can't stress that enough. I feel like I've been lied to. I feel like I've been lied to, and I'm not saying that like a snowflake. I'm saying this as in someone came out and from a business standpoint promised something and then didn't deliver. We're actually dealing with something quite like that in the UK right now. It's called Brexit. And maybe that's why recently I've been getting a little sick and tired of people not doing what they said they're going to do. And I'm definitely getting this vibe now from AEW, and, well, as I said, more in particular, ITV4 and TNT. I don't know much about TNT apart from the fact that they haven't had wrestling on their show for 18 years. And who knows, this might be the reason why. This might be why Vince McMahon has talked to all of his former rivals, Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman, but he's never talked to Turner, the guy who broadcast WCW. Clearly not a fan, and to be honest, I'm slowly not becoming a fan of TNT, because I cannot believe, I will say this till I'm blue in the face, I cannot believe that AEW is not going to be live in the UK. And if you do want to watch it live, you have to shell out more money for it, as if we don't matter, as if we're fans. That's what gets me. You go to the States, right, where most of the people who are watching probably aren't even hardcore fans, and they get it for free. And then, yeah, oh, we respect our fans in the UK. You respect them so much that you're just going to treat us like dirt. You're going to treat us like the WWE. Smart. Very smart. I mean, I understand why the WWE, you know, have stopped being nice, so to speak, to us. It's fairly obvious. We're no longer the WWE secondary market. It is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia do that with one night, the amount of money they throw in. But right now, this is the irony, that the show that is more accessible, WWE, is worse, but the new exciting show is a way to become less available, despite all their promise, despite a billionaire backer and all these things that are going to separate it from the rest of the indies. They're in a worse spot than Impact right now for like TV, for like viewing. Like you would have less trouble following Impact than you would AEW at this point. Like, how is that competing with WWE? To me, that's competing with Impact, if they can. I mean, they've stolen a couple of their superstars, and who knows? I expect, from a talent perspective, AEW to be miles better than WWE. Certainly from a match writing perspective, from a storytelling perspective. But right now, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? I'm not paying for it. You know, that's the bottom line. I'm not paying for this. And the silver lining, I'm not sure if I did follow through with the point actually at the end of it all. But yes, pay-per-views on Saturday, shows on Sunday, but apparently if this doesn't work out, they will try to find a way to make sure that all episodes are shown before the pay-per-view. And many have speculated that this means that they will revise it, that the pay option on Fight will disappear. And, yeah. And that they'll just go back to ITV4, like, make that TV deal action. And you do your best to just sift out the decent logic and news from the bullshit. But I don't believe they'll revise. Like I said, once you implement a paying system, what company's gonna stop? You know, greed is instantaneous. As soon as you have that extra bit of money, you want to bleed that little oil well dry. Because that's just the way humanity works. That's the way business works. That's what it takes to stay afloat when you've got all the money pouring into all these things on the side. So what we could expect is that AEW will not change their ways. They will not broadcast their shows as promised for the rest of the world. I think for ITV and UK fans, there is a slim chance. And I say there's a slim chance because, yes, like I just said, they've tapped into some money, they're not going to stop. But, you know, they wouldn't have just signed a deal with ITV that involved no money. There would have been money involved. But we'll see how much. You know, the outcome of recent things will tell us how much. Now we've got an internet issue here. Big internet issue. Okay, I think we've got past the worst of it. Yeah, I think we have. Right. So yes, I don't think they'll change. I think the rest of the world is going to have to continue to watch it at a price. But my biggest peeve is if they don't change it back. All that was promised. Right? All that was promised. If they go back on their word again after the next pay-per-view, which is November 9th, November 8th, something like that. After Full Gear, if there is no solution to bring AEW to free television in the UK, then I'm sorry, I'm not watching it. I'm sorry, guys, and you are breaking my heart because I love Kenny Omega. I've been such an avid follower since the letters AEW came together. I've loved the idea because I love wrestling, but I've not been loving WWE. And the fact that I'm now going to miss out on that for the sake of a little bit of extra cash or some stupid fucking ad breaks pisses me off. Shows me the real true view of Americans to Brits. And you know what? It works both ways. It works both ways. If I had started a wrestling promotion, I would bleed the US fucking dry for what they do to the Britain. And it's not just over wrestling, it's over any sport. Anything. We get fucking milked dry, and it's alright, they're Britain, they've got money, right? Look around, look at the world, right? The world's failing. The world needs things to get cheaper, not more expensive. With the exception of maybe, what, food? TV shows are more expensive than living costs in some cases to people that have Sky and BT. I mean, Jesus. If I owned every sport I wanted to watch right now, it would cost more than fucking rent. And wrestling's part of this huge cancerous money fountain that's pouring into sport. Don't even get me started on football or soccer if you're in the US. Don't even get me started on that sport. It's disgusting. I love the sport, but the money is horrendous. And I just wanted one show. That's all I wanted. All of these not being able to watch football unless I buy it, not being able to watch WWE unless I buy it. In fact, not even being able to watch SmackDown or Raw unless I moved to the fucking United States. I wanted one wrestling show. All I wanted one free wrestling show, and then just pay for the pay-per-views whenever I felt like it. But no, I have to commit. If I'm in for life, and I've got to pay every month, even if what they start producing right from the off is utter garbage. I'm gonna have to pay for it. Not a chance. Not a chance. You seriously misunderestimated your worth, AEW. Yeah, you've got all this talent. Yeah, you've got all these names. But newsflash, you're still new. Right? You're still brand new. It's like when a club comes into a serious amount of money in football. Is the success immediate? No. They have to build. But you're not doing that. You're just going all for it and expecting a title right away. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in the UK, that's for sure. You're going to brainwash a lot of people in the other countries because you never gave them a choice. You made the mistake by giving us the choice, my friends. You told us it would be free on ITV. No, never mention anything about 4-day delays, right, or nothing. And I'll again reiterate, this is supposedly the company that's targeting the hardcore fans, the ones that are online following superstars, and they expect to show a show on Wednesday, have us, the fans in Britain, follow and gain all these spoilers and watch little clips and see little gifs of people's faces for 4 days before we can even watch the show. And as I've said, one of them, the show before the pay-per-view, won't even be shown as it currently stands. So AEW, or to be more accurate, TNT and ITV, get your shit together. Get over yourselves. TNT, right? Why are you bitching about adverts? Half the shit is advertised in the US isn't even heard of here in the UK. So why does it matter if your adverts are shown or not? ITV, even if it was a couple of minutes, what have you got to be stingy about? We advertise just as much crap here in the UK. Would it really be difficult to have like a news thing for 60 seconds? No, it wouldn't. I mean, there's plenty of fucking news to talk about. I hear about it hours of every day, but we can't compensate for a couple of minutes to get a decent wrestling show. It's like we're not allowed nice things. It's like unless you absolutely pay for it, you are not allowed a single nice thing in the world. That is the way the world is turning into. That is what we're becoming. It's gone from paying for luxuries to paying for everything. Now things that most people take for granted, you now have to pay for. And that should sound like a good thing, but it's not. It's cancerous. It's bleeding people dry. It's greed. Ultimate human race problem. It's greed. And greed has just stripped the UK of AEW. So, to the fans who are willing to pay for AEW, I commend you, because I'm not. And they could get CM Punk back, and they could sign John Cena and The Rock. I'm still not paying for a weekly show for the next couple of years. That is not the way it works. If they want to build a network in a year and do stuff like WWE, I'll pay for it. But I am not paying for a weekly show. Forget about it, AEW. Forget about it, Fight TV. And most importantly, forget about it, TNT and ITV. Please get this sorted. We deserve a good wrestling show. That is what is promised. Now deliver. For once in your lives, deliver.